Hello students, welcome back to a very fresh and interesting session with a new chapter. Today we are about to begin with chemical kinetics. As you all know, the word kinetics comes from the word kinetic energy, and kinetic energy involves a lot of motion or movement. So what is kinetics to do with chemical? Well, when we study chemical reactions, we are interested in knowing the rate at which the reaction can proceed, right? So chemical kinetics is that branch of science that deals with the rate of a chemical reaction, and not only that, it also involves a study of various factors that can affect the rate of the chemical reactions. Now, why is this topic of chemical kinetics so important? Well, it helps us to understand how fast the equilibrium can be attained, right? And it also helps us to study the mechanism of various reactions. Now, all reactions do not take place in a single simple step. Most of the reactions are complex in nature and they involve a number of steps. So you can in fact identify or you can predict what is the product going to be if you know the mechanism of the reactions. So kinetics helps us to study not only the rate at which the equilibrium can be attained, but also the mechanism at which is undertaken for the various reactions. So let us begin by explaining what is meant by rate of a reaction. Well, the rate of a reaction can be defined as the change in concentration of products or reactants with respect to time. That means I can express the decrease in concentration of reactants over a period of time or the increase in concentration of products with respect to time. So as you can see in this graph here, this is a plot of concentration versus time. So this concentration can be of reactants as well as of products. So this particular curve indicates that at time 0, the concentration of the reactants is high. Okay, so this curve will show me the change in concentration with respect to time for the reactants. So if I were to consider a reaction A getting converted into B, then this curve denotes the change in concentration of A with respect to time. Whereas the second curve, which starts from the origin, that means at time equal to 0, the concentration is also 0 here. And as the time increases, gradually the concentration also is increasing. So this denotes the curve of the product B. So as is evident from here, with passage of time, the concentration of reactant goes on decreasing while that of the product goes on increasing. So if I were to write the rate of a reaction mathematically, then I can write it as the average rate of reaction is nothing but change in concentration of A, which I denote as delta A upon delta T. And similarly, in terms of product, I can write it as delta B upon delta T. Now there is a negative sign here which denotes that reactant concentration is going to decrease with respect to time. So when I take the final minus initial values, I get a negative answer, right? So you can look at this graph here. Suppose I consider the concentration of reactant at time t equal to 100 seconds. So at 100 seconds, the concentration is 0.8 molar. And if I were to consider at 200 seconds, at 200 seconds, it has decreased from 0.8 to zero point 0.4 molar, let us say. That means my change in concentration or delta A value will become 0.4 minus 0.8, which is minus 0.4. So when I put here minus of minus 0.4, I get plus 0.4 upon 100 seconds. That is 200 minus 100 is 100 seconds, right? So my final answer for rate of the reaction should be positive. Okay, remember the rate is a scalar quantity. It has to be positive. You cannot have negative values for the rate of the reaction. So this negative sign is only an indication that we are expressing the rate in terms of the concentration of reactants, and the reactants are getting consumed over a period of time. Whereas when I write it in terms of products, we put a positive sign because the concentration of products goes on increasing with respect to time. Okay, so I can define average rate of reaction as the ratio of the change in concentration of a species, that means it can be either reactant or product, with respect to change in time. So this is how we define the rate of a reaction. All right. Now, look at this graph. This graph indicates a curve. It denotes a curve. Okay. By looking at the pattern of this curve, you're able to identify that this is representing the concentration of reactants with respect to time. Okay, you can see the concentration of reactants initially is very high, and as the time passes, as we move to the right hand side, the concentration is decreasing. That means this is a graph of concentration of reactants with respect to time. Now, at any particular instant of time, if I want to find out what is the rate of the reaction at one instant of time, then we need to draw a tangent to this curve at this particular point. And if I calculate the slope of this tangent, the slope of the tangent can be calculated by using y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. Here the y coordinate is the concentration and the x coordinates are the time. So we get the ratio of concentration to time, and that denotes the rate of the reaction at this particular instant of time. Okay. Similarly, if I were to draw a graph for the products, then it would appear like this. The product will start from a value 0. Initially, there are no products in the reaction mixture, and with passage of time, the product concentration goes on increasing. So again, if I want to find out what is the rate of the reaction at any one particular instant of time, okay, not over a period of time, but at one particular instant of time, then I again need to draw a tangent at that particular point of time, and the slope of this tangent. So you can see here the y2 minus y1 is nothing but delta p, or change in concentration of products with respect to time, change in time. So this will give me the rate of the reaction at this particular moment or at this particular instant. So this brings us to the definition of what is known as the instantaneous rate of a reaction. So what is instantaneous rate of a reaction? Instantaneous rate of reaction gives you the rate of reaction at that particular instant or at that particular moment of time. And that is going to be an infinitesimally small value. And hence we write it in terms of the differential values. We write it as dA by dt with a negative sign for reactant, and dB by dt, the positive sign if I'm denoting the products. Okay, so we have replaced that delta A upon delta T by dA upon dt, because this is a very small value, and that is going to give us the instantaneous rate of reaction. That means the rate of reaction at that particular instant or moment of time. Okay, so this is valid for a simple reaction like this, where A is just simply getting converted into B. Okay, so whether I take the rate in terms of A or in terms of B, it is going to be the same. But what if I have an equation like this, where I'm having A plus 2B forming 3C? So you can see after balancing, all the coefficients are different. So in this case, there has to be a slight modification. Now, what is the modification required? So as you can see here, for every mole of A that is getting used up or consumed, there are 2 moles of B that are getting used up. Okay, for every mole of A that is consumed, 2 moles of B are required. And similarly, for every mole of A that is used up, 3 moles of C are being produced. Okay, so I can say if I'm denoting the rate of consumption of B, then for every 1 mole consumption of B, I need 2 times the rate of consumption of B is 2 times the rate of consumption of A. Okay, and similarly between A and C, you can see for every mole of A, 3 moles of C are being produced. So in terms of C, I can say the rate of production of C is 3 times the rate at which A is getting consumed. Okay, the rate of production of C is 3 times the rate at which A is getting consumed. This negative sign, I'm again repeating, only denotes that A is getting consumed, whereas the positive sign here indicates that C is getting formed or it is getting produced. All right. So now, if I were to write the rate of this reaction, then I have to have some uniformity. And for that, we can write it in this manner, that the rate of the reaction can be written in terms of A as simply minus dA by dt. But if I were to write it in terms of B, if I want to express the rate of the reaction in terms of B, I cannot just say dB by dt, because dA by dt and dB by dt are not equal to each other. You can see here dB by dt is equal to 2 times dA by dt. So I can write dA by dt will be equal to half of dB by dt. So I get here minus 1 upon 2 times dB by dt. Obviously the negative sign has to remain because they are indicating the reactance. That means the reactant concentration is decreasing. And if I have to write it in terms of C, then from this expression I get that dA by dt is equal to 1/3 dC by dt. So I get here 1 by 3 into dc by dt. Okay. So what does this indicate? I have highlighted these coefficients here as these numbers here as 1 by 2 and 1 by 3. Now what is the reason for highlighting them? Because they are nothing but the reciprocal of the coefficients in the balanced chemical equation. So you can see the coefficient of B in this equation is 2, and therefore when I express the rate in terms of B, I have to multiply it by the reciprocal of its coefficient. Similarly, the coefficient of C in this equation is 3. So when I express the rate in terms of C, I need to multiply it by the reciprocal of its coefficient. Okay, in case of A, it was not needed because the A doesn't have any coefficient in this particular equation. I hope it is clear to all of you. All right. So now let us generalize this rate of a reaction. So if I have a general chemical equation in this form, AA plus BB forming CC plus DD, okay, where the small a, b, c and d, they represent the coefficients of the reactants and the products. The capital letters indicate the reactants and products, and the small letters are indicating the stoichiometric coefficients in the balanced chemical equation. So in that case, how do we write the instantaneous rate of the reaction? It is written like this. The rate of the reaction is written as minus 1 upon A into dA by dt. Okay, negative sign because A is a reactant. dA by dt is the rate at which the concentration is decreasing with respect to time. Okay, and this 1 upon A, so that the value becomes equal to the rate at which B is getting consumed, or the rate at which C is getting formed, or D is getting formed. So everywhere you can see I have multiplied it by the reciprocal of the stoichiometric coefficient. This is very, very important, students. You must keep this in mind. If at all you forget to put this reciprocal in front of the rate, then you arrive at the wrong expression, and when you're solving numericals, you'll end up with the wrong answer. Okay, so two things to keep in mind. For reactants, the negative sign is very important. For products, the positive sign. And secondly, you need to multiply by the reciprocal of the coefficients in order to get the rates equal, irrespective of whether you're expressing in terms of the reactants or in terms of the product. Okay, I hope it is clear to you what is chemical kinetics and what is meant by rate of the reaction as well as the instantaneous rate of the reaction. So with this, we come to an end of our today's session. In our next session, we'll be studying about the rate law, which will be another way of expressing the rate of a reaction. And then based on this rate law, we will understand what is meant by order of the reaction. And also we will then compare what order of the reaction with molecularity of a reaction. But that is in my upcoming session. So until then, please keep subscribing and do not forget to share my videos with your friends, and also do press the bell button so that you receive my further notifications. Okay, so until then, keep watching and thank you.